Good evening. It's a delight to be here, and thank you, Parish, for the invitation to speak in Stanford, which I suppose is a university that's world-renowned for developing world-changing technologies. We're privileged and inspired to be here to talk about our small chunk of technology that we're trying to develop to change the world as well. Wavebob, as Burton says, is a technology company. We're developing technology to convert ocean waves into electricity. And we're doing that in response to, I think everyone recognises, the huge market that exists for renewable energy. So really I'm delighted to be here to share some of our story, what inspires us, what challenges us. I'm not going to get into a huge amount of detail about wave energy and the physics and the detailed technology behind it, because I think Richard Jem did that very, very well the last time. But really maybe just to provide some of our story. And just to kick off, and sort of to provide an image of something that inspires us, and actually speaks to a lot of what's happening in our company. And most people recognize this famous picture from Edvard Munch as a Halloween image. But really, it's probably the first time that somebody took note of what was happening in the environment. And in his diary notes before he wrote this, he described that sentence: he sensed a loud, infinite scream passing through endless nature. And it was that kind of recognition that the environment is fragile and we need to do something different in order to improve or to reduce our impact on the environment was actually the inspiration for founding this company. And our inventor back in the late 90s, who spent quite a long career in computing and in the drinks industry in Ireland, turned his physics background into a new challenge, and really this is where we are today. It also is a very representative picture because it starts to look a little bit like me, because I had a lot more hair when I joined this company, and it's kind of the exact expression I have at the end of every month when I realise how much we're spending and how much we need to raise. So it's a very important picture that inspires us. But that kind of background, in my own case, really started out similarly as an environmental scientist, and spent the early part of my career stopping people putting dirty things into the water. So the fact that we're still trying to do that is positive, particularly in California, where we're trying to convince them that this is a good thing to do in California. And my own story really emerged from a technical background, going to business school in Ireland and in London with Henley Management College, and then setting up an Applied Innovation Institute, which was really about helping small companies to grow their business by being innovative. And we took a very broad view of what innovation is. And sometimes that meant developing new technology, and that's really what led me into Wavebob. So kind of following that theme about our impact on the environment, there's a very, very good book called Capitalism at the Crossroads. I don't know if anybody's had a chance to read it. But within that, Simon Hart talks about mankind's impact on the planet. And for the engineers in the audience, it's nice to put up an equation because we all speak in equations. And his view was that impact is a function of the population of the planet multiplied by the level of affluence of that population, multiplied by the technology we use. And clearly, if we want to reduce our impact, we're not going to reduce the population. In fact, it's growing as at considerable rates. We don't want to reduce the affluence. Indeed, we want people to become more affluent, particularly in the developing world. We want them to be as affluent as we enjoy. So the only way we can impact on, or reduce the impact on the environment is to bring technology across the equals to sign, improve the technology, and thereby reduce our impact. And really that's kind of what's driving our business. And this notion of innovation is very much about not necessarily just saving the planet, but that's kind of the inspiration at the outset. But it's more about now, this is a business that we need to create money with. And Peter Drucker, as we all know, kind of defined innovation as that specific act of the entrepreneur. And that's what's driving us at the moment. Yes, we are looking to reduce our impact, but given the huge market opportunity that exists, we see a clear way to differentiate ourselves as a company, develop world-leading technology, and therefore make a lot of money out of it. And that money comes from this market demand and the huge growth in renewables, as Burton has already indicated, in terms of wind. We see a similar growth for wave, albeit maybe 10 to 15 years behind where wind is at the moment. But the demand for energy is growing day by day, and as yet nobody has tapped into the ocean in any way, other than a few kind of pilot, small-scale test projects. But nobody is really tapping into that immense, almost limitless energy resource that exists there. Now, clearly the limit is about how you can bring that energy ashore and convert it effectively. But as you can see from this picture, which shows the ocean energy resource in the winter, so you can see Ireland, which is exceptionally well located right here on the edge of the North Atlantic, enjoys probably one of the best wave resources on the planet. So as a company or as a country that imports 98% of its primary energy, it would be impolite of us not to exploit that resource and to develop not only some security of supply internally, but also engender and drive a whole new industry. And Ireland as a country has got behind ocean energy, partly because we have a history of maritime history, partly because we have a well-resourced and interested research community, but now, and importantly in our case, we're seeing world-leading technology emerge that the government is keen to support. And really that's kind of a little bit of the story today in terms of how we're trying to move that technology forward. But market opportunities drive innovation, as we all know, and if you look at this graph which shows oil prices over the last 40 years, you can see in pink the price of oil increasing and spiking over the last number of years, and then patents, new patents in wave energy technology almost following it exactly with a phase shift of about 6 months. So you can just see it, people giving out about the prices per gallon of their petrol as they go to fill up and thinking there has to be a better way of doing things. And it probably takes about 6 months to form up enough of an idea to try and apply a patent. But coming up with new ideas and wonderful new concepts isn't reality. What we need to do is take those good ideas and bring them to a reality, and that's the business that we're in. We started with a good idea, a very entrepreneurial, typical kind of startup, and now what we're trying to do as an engineering company is introduce the rigor, the processes, the systems engineering practices that enable us to take that good idea, develop it, build on it, mature it, retire the risks, and actually bring it to market so that we and our partners can make a commercial return. And within that kind of ocean energy environment, of all the ideas that are out there, very few have taken that view that we need to go through this in a rigorous process. And the temptation is to come up with a good idea, test it in the bathtub, and then go and build a huge device and stick it in the ocean. And there are countless examples of companies who have done that, raised a whole lot of money in order to go to sea, did that without good preparation, without underpinning their technology, sank, failed, and then the shareholders are left looking for the next opportunity. And really what we've introduced as a company has been quite a challenging discipline of reducing that temptation to run back into the sea until we had gone through a rigorous process of small-scale testing, numerical simulation and modelling, failure mode effects, criticality analysis, all the good engineering stuff that the people will learn here in Stanford. But trying to apply that in an entrepreneurial startup company has been quite a challenging transition, but it's paying dividends. Today, yesterday, anytime we come to California, we can see business opportunities emerging now. The partners that we're dealing with talk systems engineering language, and the fact that we're able to relate to them in a similar fashion provides some reassurance that at least we're on top of our game. And the reality is, like property, there are 3 important things when you're buying real estate: location, location, location. For this business, there's only 3 things that are important, and it's survival, survival, survival. So you can have great ideas, you can have the best on-paper technology, but the reality is you need to engineer that to marine standards and codes and kind of meet the harsh conditions that are required. So for our own technology and our own company, we were established in '99. So we've 10 years behind us, almost operating in stealth mode. We haven't gone to the VC community. We've managed to fund it through the 4 Fs, founder, family, friends, fools. Now got to a point where we have attracted sufficient interest that we are engaging with industrial partners and strategics, people that recognize the opportunity, recognize the position that we're playing in this, and we're now starting to really form quite a unique consortium of technology partners, support companies, and customers who are actually funding our development program now such that they can share the business opportunity with us in the future. And we've been recognized for being innovative and for our engineering ability by the Professional Institute of Engineers in Ireland. And that gives us great pride. We're an Irish company, but we do recognize 2 things that really are important in the US, and that's why last year in 2008, we established a US subsidiary here in Annapolis, Maryland. Derek Robertson, who runs our US operation, is here. And we did that really because not only do we see a commercial opportunity that exists primarily on the West Coast, and people like PG&E and the city of San Francisco are all looking at wave energy projects, but it's a long way down the line yet. The other thing that I suppose typifies the US and California in particular is planning and the permitting. So we recognize this isn't a short-term commercial opportunity, but we also recognize there is a couple of unique skill sets that exist in the US, not least of which is that ambition to take crazy technology and support it and really drive the commercialization process. So we kind of see a welcome home here when we talk about crazy ambitions and $100 million markets and all of the money we need to bring in to try and drive this forward. So that kind of recognition of ambition is one thing,